T.C. Christensen, Jason, and Heather Hansen. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Just to jump right into it, the first question is kind of just the story and how this movie came to be. TC, the first question's for you, but for the benefit of everyone in our audience who might not have seen the film yet, could you just give like a little synopsis of what this film is about?
About 9 years ago, I gave a talk at a church, and a guy came up after and started pestering me. And this guy said, "Hey, I've got a great true story that you need to hear." And I thought, whoop-de-doo, I'll bet you do. And you know what? He was right. He did have a great true story. And probably a year after that meeting, I found myself filming this story. So who's going to tell us the synopsis of this film?
Jason is.
You'll do great. You'll do great.
Well, I met a great guy at a church 9 years ago I was listening to, who is a great movie maker. And the story of Kennedy was brought to fruition by T.C. Christensen and has been an absolute blessing to millions of people. And the story of Love Kennedy is about our daughter, Kennedy Hansen, who passed away from a disease called Batten disease. And Kennedy was just too good to be here. Her whole life, she was just so full of light and joy and so great that Heather and I were talking about this on the way down here in the interview. We were recollecting memories on the way down of how she was just so easy and so happy. And then tragically, she got this terminal illness. And this terminal illness, although it took her, the story is one of redemption because she wanted to share her story to love with the world. And she did. And she did that through a great movie maker, T.C. Christensen. And we had so many miracles and things that happened that as parents and human beings, some of them were hard to believe. And we documented those. And we did have a story. And we did have something, and she asked us to share it. And so as I sat there and listened to TC, I couldn't hold back. I know it was Kennedy saying, "Dad, that's who needs to tell the story."
I love that. And just for some background, I know you mentioned Kennedy's life and love for others and how she affected people, and we'll get into that as well, more into the interview. But just for people's knowledge, what is Batten disease? Is that how it's said?
It is.
So it's a neurological disease and affects your nervous system. So symptoms are you start losing your eyesight, cognitive delays, seizures. So basically, to understand it would be your brain starts to die, and then everything, all your systems start to shut down. Eventually, it kills you. And so she had juvenile Batten disease and started affecting her. She was about 10 years old, started losing her eyesight. And then progressively, the seizure started. And she lost her ability to do basically walk, talk, and her body just shut down. We found out she had this disease a year before she passed away. And so we had an amazing year, last year of her life, that we knew we had limited time to just have a lifetime full of memories and throw it all in. And I'll tell you what, she was amazing. Kennedy was amazing. She, influenced so many people her whole life. But just to be able to share her story, we feel so blessed to continue her journey for her.
And you know that this disease they're talking about affects 1 in how many?
500 million.
It's super rare.
It's like
Super rare.
Very tough in that sense to think that you're that person. And to give an indication of Kennedy's positivity, she said that really she was lucky, that she was so lucky to be the 1 in 500 million to have it.
Yeah, she never
Pretty
complained.
good.
Yeah.
She never, her whole life though, she never complained about things. She just accepted situations, adapted, and looked at the positive in all situations she was in, even since the time she was 2, she just remarkable person.
I think that's something that came across so beautifully in the film as well, that you were able to see Kennedy's heart and love for others. And I think it makes perfect sense to see how much impact she had, and why you guys felt so powerfully to share the story with others. What led to that decision? Because I know there's the book. You guys had a book, a Facebook page, and a lot of things started to go viral. What led you to that point to where it's like, okay, Kennedy's story, we should share this? What led you to that point?
Kennedy.
That's a good answer.
It's true.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll read this as short. I'll read you what she said. She said, "Dad, I think you should write a book. You and Mom have some things to do. Continue to share my story with the world. I promise you, you'll not tire from it, and you will long to see me again every day for the rest of your life." We did it, Mom and Dad. We did it. Dedicate my story to my family, my best friends, neighbors, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and the cheerleaders. But most important, dedicate it to my Father in heaven, God, who will help my story be told. Dad, I chose this. Don't ever forget that. I have to go now. We'll be waiting with open arms for you and our family. Give a giant hug to the world, Dad. A Kennedy's hug. Love, Kennedy. So the answer is that she was so wise beyond her years, that it's hard for some people to grasp that Kennedy, although she was debilitating, her mind was sharp. She understood. And very simply, when she, at the end of her life, which was the last year was the end of her life. I mean, that was a long but short year. We would sit on the back deck, and she was in a wheelchair for about 3 months. That she would tell me, "Dad, you don't understand. My story will be shared with the world." And I would say, "That is so cocky, Kennedy. You don't say things like that." So she knew, and we had the responsibility to share, which is part of the greatness of the story.
Wow. I think there was no better answer than to read the beginning of that book. I think, oh man, I love what you said about she knew, to where, of course, you walking up to TC and being like, "Oh boy, do I have a story for you," but also just to see where we are now. This movie is going out to a growing membership of over 1.5 million people will have the chance to see this movie and share this movie.
Wonderful.
So it's just, oh my goodness, wow, to have the foresight to see that. But I love what you said. She knew. She knew exactly what was going on. I love also what it said, give everyone a Kennedy hug. So I'd love to talk a bit about that. Where did that phrase come from?
We came up with, Kennedy is the ultimate individual to love people. She always would show her love and respect to people even she didn't know, and story after story we've been told. And so it was fitting for her book. Is one of her greatest attributes she had was she would always hug people even she didn't know. And sometimes when she was little, we were like, "Oh, Kennedy, that's not safe." But I don't know, she just had an ability to be able to connect spirit to spirit with people and just share her joy and love she had for them through a hug.
We talked about there's really quickly. We, on the way down, we talked about a story we heard last week.
Yeah.
A very good friend of ours who's now like a brother to me. He called me. He's having a lot of struggles right now. And he said, "Jason, I never, ever had my parents or my family ever tell me the words, 'I love you.'" His whole life. He's 56 years old. And he said, "Jason, the first hug that I can remember ever getting was from Kennedy when she was 4 years old." And he's known her that long. And he says, "I've never shared this with you." And it caught me because I'm very close to him. Because every time I see this man, he hugs me and tells me, "I love you." And then he called me last week amidst all these struggles he's having personally and says, "I learned that from Kennedy." And so I shared that with Heather, and I said, he never told us that.
He learned how to hug and learned how to tell someone he loved them.
And here it's been 11 years, since she's passed and she's still impacting
Yeah.
so many people.
I love that. And TC, to bring you into the conversation as well, the movie is called Love, Kennedy. If you could also just talk about what drew you after this man approached you and said, hey, I have a story for you. What did the film creation process look like? And why did you name it specifically Love, Kennedy?
Well, Jason and I went to lunch after that, and he's telling me Kennedy's story, and it starts to get pretty good, and it gets better. And there's miraculous things that happen. And I start getting more interested in him than in my potato chips, which is saying a lot. And it just got better and better. And when I came home from that meeting, I think I called my partner, Ron Tanner, and told him that there's a possibility. This is really pretty interesting story. And it is because of some of the great themes that come from her life, which are that she was positive in the face of pending doom, that she loved others, all these things that we're talking about, she exemplified. And then there were really just some kind of miraculous things that happened with her death. Go see the movie,
Yes.
and you'll know what I'm talking about. I was struck at some point as the writer in researching this, that I felt like her life was lived almost in a way for other people. I felt like Kennedy was really just writing a love letter to the world, and by the way she lived her life. So that love, comma, Kennedy, to me, was her signature to each one of us that learn about her and see the film.
No, thank you for sharing that. I also love what you were talking about, as in, as Jason was telling you the story, it was like got better and better. And that's something I noticed in the movie as well. It was like, oh, no way. Oh, no way. And it's like it just kept going and going and going. Things like, I won't spoil, but there was a lot of like even lovely, heartwarming things, but even like supernatural things that I think were heartwarming and really interesting as well. And one of the things that I loved about Kennedy's story is her ability to bring people together. But also we're talking about, this is an individual that went through something extremely, extremely difficult. So you feel like you see individuals like that and you're like, okay, you can take a rest. It's all right. Like I'm here to serve you. But in a way, she was like, in the midst of that, she was willing to serve others. So why do you think Kennedy was able to take this difficulty she had in life and really turn it on its head and really use it to love and to serve others?
I think Kennedy just had a perspective of things are bigger than her. And I think somehow she just understood that and knew that. And so when, for example, with the cheerleaders, when they form their team, there's always drama with teenage girls, right? And I know that there is some problems they were trying to work out on the team. And when they brought Kennedy in as the cheerleader, she was only supposed to cheer one game. And the whole team and coach and everybody just fell in love with her. But she became the glue of that whole team. And I think she taught the girls compassion, understanding, to be unselfish. And I mean, they all grew in one way or another, life-changing experiences, right? But they had so much love for her as well by knowing her. And so she affected them in amazing ways. And I mean, everybody has their own journey, right? So I think she had the ability to pull people together to help bring out their good attributes, and she would tell them about that, and she would help them feel safe and watched over and loved. And I think we all need to feel that.
Thank you for sharing. I totally agree. So I'd love to jump to, so the movie's been created. What was it like watching the film for the first time, and then TC after. What was the audience reception like? What when you were showing this movie to audiences? But first, what was your first reaction when watching the movie?
A lot of laughter, a lot of tears.
I'm sure.
It was wonderful. I felt like when I first watched it, as emotional as it was, because it was reliving our lives. These events in the film really happened, and but I had just this peace within myself, feeling like this is exactly how Kennedy wanted it, and that the individuals in the film and those involved, directing, creating, acting, were all supposed to be there for a reason. And so I think she was super pleased with it. And I had that peace, knowing that that's how she'd want it done.
Mm.
And for me, that's all it took for me to be like, this is a good thing. This is how it's supposed to be.
I want your audience to know,
Oh, please.
this is Jason, this is Heather. We cast an actor named Jason to play the part of Jason.
Yeah.
We cast an actress named Heather to play the part. I mean, I honestly,
Intentional.
no, I didn't go out and look at it.
And, yeah.
And then we've cast Tatum Chinquy as Kennedy. I tried to get her to change her name to Kennedy, but she's not a team player, Tatum,
Man.
and she wouldn't do it. But I don't know if there's been a movie in the history of the world that the two leads were played by somebody with their actual name.
But there's no coincidences, right?
Yeah.
Like
No.
things happen for a
It's all
reason,
meant
even
to
though
be.
you can't explain it. It happens for a reason, and that was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was
so
fun.
to see that work out that way. So
And Jason, what was your first reaction to the film? I'm sure a lot of the same.
Yeah, I think I was more grateful.
Hmm.
Because TC did it right.
Hmm.
Sorry.
No, you're all right.
And when I watched it, we watched it at his house. He invited us first time. And I don't know many producers in the world of production in Hollywood and things that would, after the film, I was so emotional, but, hugging this producer, thanking him. Most movies are made, we're here in a great studio sharing films, and films make money, and that's the purpose. But I felt like he took such a sincere interest in the most important things that Kennedy would have had shared, like Heather said, and he nailed it. And I just looked at him and said, there's really nothing. I mean, you could make a whole series on Kennedy, but there was nothing that there's no stone that was left unturned that she would have wanted not to be shared. And so the other thing that I knew when I watched it was when the film came out, it came out the same weekend as Wonder Woman.
Really?
And Heather and I could have cared less about that because she's not a commodity to us. She's our daughter. But I remember telling TC, I said, this film will not be this big, giant box office hit. It will carry on for decades, and it will touch millions of lives. And here we are, several years later, Angel Studios and a thriving, growing enterprise with incredible films of light, and it fits perfectly. And so I think that was Kennedy just saying, I got this, Dad.
Yeah.
I got the right producer. I got the movie. We got the future. And so I've told him all the time, like, it's going to keep going. And it is.
Something that I would love to ask is, of course, you're having actors and actresses portray your life on screen. And of course, I'm sure it was unique to see other people play you two, but what was it like seeing that young actress play Kennedy's character? What was her name, TC?
Tatum Chinquy.
Yes. What was it like seeing her portray Kennedy?
Well, she did an amazing job, and TC actually invited us when he had auditions for the different acting parts. And when we met Tatum, we knew she was supposed to play Kennedy. We knew that was her role. And it was amazing because I think she loved Kennedy before she even knew Kennedy, and she really was dedicated in wanting to play the part right and to really represent who Kennedy was. We love Tatum. I mean, she's just so sweet. Yeah, and Tatum. So when during filming, there were some moments that were hard because it was so realistic of what we went through. And a few times I had to walk away for a minute to just breathe. But knowing that Tatum wanted to play the role right so badly, and I think she did a fantastic job of representing Kennedy and who she was, and I'm grateful for her and her dedication on that. And I'm grateful to TC for you employing her, because she was supposed to play Kennedy and just did a remarkable job. And she had her own experiences getting to know Kennedy that she'd have to share. But yeah, Jace, I don't know. What do you...
Let me tell you about Tatum Chinquy. She came to our house. She drives a little Mini Cooper. She still drives it. And she showed up, asked if she could come, knocked on the front door, and I'll never forget. She just embraced us and hugged us and said, I am here to learn everything about Kennedy. Mm-hmm. And so we had not taken down Kennedy's room yet, and which was a blessing for the film. We changed a couple things in it, and we took her to her room. We spent hours with her going through so many things, and she just wanted to know Kennedy, like Heather said. I think Sherry knew Kennedy. Mm. I think Kennedy handpicked her. Mm-hmm. And, they're so similar, the way she talked, the way she walked, the way she acted. And even when she got into the acting side of seizures, it was so realistic. Even when she got into the acting side of pain and not being able to talk and things like that in the film that are the hard things, she just nailed it. And I think that's so important because it's been said by some people, as I've talked to people today, the authenticity you feel, the realness, because we were trying to make it as real as we could and allow TC to do everything he could permissibly in our home where it happened. And Tatum just wanted to know her. So she would literally, after everybody leave, she would stay, talk to Heather and I, and we've gained this relationship. Film was released in 2017. We are now very good friends with her and her husband still. She's married. She's doing great. She runs a bridal company. She is the cutest thing. Her husband's amazing. Her husband actually helped train our son in basketball.
No, I love it.
And so it's been a lifelong relationship. And she is so proud. If you ever talk to her, she's like, I've done so many movie things, but love Kennedy? Oh boy. Breaks go on, and she'll talk to you about it forever. She loves it.
Love that.
Yeah.
You two remember one of the other moments where we were all making sure this was working good for all of us was when I got through my first or maybe second draft of the script. Then we did a table read, and we went to their home.
We can't forget.
We sat around, me and Ron Tanner, and you two were there, and we took turns and we read parts and read through the script. And I was thrilled that they were thrilled, because when you make films about people that are alive and recently left us and so forth, you can step on toes pretty easily. Yeah. And I've probably done my share of stepping on toes with other films. But overall, they were just so positive about it. It was very encouraging to make Ron and I want to go ahead and make the film.
Well, and TC, I don't know if you remember this, but before it all, when we were in the very beginning of this whole process of filming, when Jason and I met with you, they made it very clear to you, we will not do this unless it is told accurately. Kennedy's story is is almost as identical as things could have happened in her story need to be told that way. And you said you would do that. And that is one reason where we agreed to have Kennedy's story shared, is because you did it as accurate as it really happened.
And give me this, we filmed in their home. We were in that home for 2 weeks doing a lot of the things that actually happened in that home. We filmed in Kennedy's high school and around the town where she was raised. And I love that. I love the authenticity that that brings. Even if you don't know that, there's something about it. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love TC, specifically the films. A lot of the films that you do are true stories, and we've interviewed you talking about the Cokeville Miracle, Raising the Bar, and a bunch of others, and your care and love for the story, I feel like, is something that always comes across.
Yeah, story is the thing, and I only do true stories. That's all I've done so far, and to me, this story of Kennedy Hansen, if it wasn't true, it'd be a nice, story that you put out there and hope it touches people. But the fact that this really happened and we're telling it as truthfully as possible, I think takes it to another level.
Yes.
And I think people feel that. They feel it within their soul, the authenticity and the truism of it.
Something that we've brought up a few times in our conversation is Kennedy's heart for people and how she was able to impact folks. What do you hope people watching this movie take away? Sort of like a virtual Kennedy hug sort of deal. What do you hope people take away after watching this film? Because there'll be 1.5 million people have the opportunity, and you should. Angel.com/Kennedy Live. Watch the movie. It's worth your time. It's lovely. But what do you hope people get out of it?
I hope people get out of it. It's all going to be okay. That this life is so hard, and there's so much around us that is ever moving in a hard way. But if we look at the little things, there's so much good. And I would hope that people would watch the film, and TC articulated it so great. If you watch the film, you'll see there's some specific one-liners that Kennedy says where she saw the most simple thing. And that simple thing brought her so much joy and everybody else so much joy amongst so much heartache. And I think that if you watch the film, know that there is a greater power than all of us. And that power wants us to be happy and loved and have purpose. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's all going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I also think that Kennedy wanted everyone to just, like Heather said, she didn't want to be in the bright lights. She wanted everybody else in the bright lights. That's how she was. And so her message is that. And as people watch that, they feel that. We have so many messages on Facebook and Instagram and social media platforms that we can't even, we don't even really answer them anymore. That's terrible, probably, because there are thousands and thousands and thousands. But everywhere we go, even last night, we were somewhere at an event, and these folks I don't even know are like, tell me about your family. And they're like, oh, wait, I've seen that movie, Love Kennedy. That touched me so much. And this lady started to cry. I didn't cry. I cried here. But she started to cry and get emotional. It changed me. It changed me. I was having the hardest time, and it was all okay. So it doesn't fix your life, but fix your emotions a little bit. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with what Jason said, and just a sense of hope, everyday living hope in our lives we all need. And I think after watching Love Kennedy, you'll feel that. You'll feel that there's so much more, and you are valuable. Your life is valuable. Your purpose is valuable, and God loves you.
Oh, I love that. And TC, of course, with the name of the film, Love Kennedy. I love the picture of a letter, of course, Love Kennedy. And as the filmmaker, as the director, I feel like sort of like a mailman of sorts, to where you're taking this letter and you're like, hey, I did the best I could to copy this down, prepare it, package it. I loved it. I cared for it. Here, read this. For people who watch,
That's a great way.
but for people who do watch,
Mailman.
Yeah,
so
the
for
mailman.
people who you deliver this letter to via your film, they open this letter, they read it. What would you like them to take from this letter?
Well, I want them to notice a few things, I hope. Like any really good protagonist, Kennedy had some goals. She wanted to go on a date. Here she is, a young teenage girl. Of course she wants to go on a date. She wants to be a cheerleader. And she wants to drive a car. Those are pretty typical teenage things. But she's not typical, and you would think, well, she's never going to have the opportunity to really, maybe not do any of those things. And she does. And I want the audience to know that this film has a lot of joy in it. We're all here, he's crying, but this is a film that is touching, but there is a lot of joy, and you're going to, I think, enjoy seeing Kennedy's journey.
No, I love that. So something with this film that I was thinking after finishing watching was, what's something I can do to help? Because I felt like part of Kennedy's heart was for others, and I wanted to do that too. So is there anything that people can do as far as like to help? Do you guys have a foundation, or how can people get involved?
Yeah, so we started a nonprofit foundation called Kennedy's Hugs. It's our own foundation, so we do not take in it's not a 501c3. We started it ourselves, and the reason we did is because we wanted to control the funds that we put into it ourselves to help with varieties of things for families, not just terminal illnesses. But the foundation specifically has helped people with all sorts of things. When the movie was made and the book was published, Heather and I really had some strong rules. Kennedy's not a commodity to us. And so we tried to do everything we could. Like, we tell TC, and I think TC loved us for this, like, you can use our home, you can use our vehicles, you can use whatever it is we don't know how movies work, whatever it is that, because he's like, well, we have to give your foundation something to pay. So we're like, just give us the minimum, whatever. We don't care. And so for us, it was about sharing the story, even though he's a business and a movie maker, but he's a great human. So we've taken proceeds from the book and then our own proceeds, and we've been able to do some wonderful things. We have a home that we purchased called the Kennedy's Hugs Home that we donate to families to go stay in. So if in their time of need, we've been able to help with medical bills and, costs of different things, some funerals, things like that. And it's been a wonderful thing to show up and kind of be a fly on the wall. Instead of going and posting everything on social media. It's really personal. The website, the Facebook page is still up, and on Instagram it is, and people go there all the time. I think at the end of Kennedy's life, one of the post The Last Ride, it had about 4.5 million people in reach. Wow. So there's a giant reach, but we're not real active, like going on. We don't post, we don't do it. We did for a long time. And thank goodness we did, because that's how we got the book, because we chronicled journals or we kept Facebook posts. But
that's how the movie came about, was because we had the book before it was even published.
Right.
You got a copy of it.
But we got to a point where, like we have our last son's 17 years old. We got to a point where we needed to focus on our other side of our family and still focus on this and still make it a giant focus. And it is. But really take care of that, so that the rest of our family didn't feel overlooked or left out. It was all about Kennedy, and we've done that, and it's been wonderful. So we speak, we get asked to speak at business events, Christian events, all sorts of church events. We keep a log, and since she's passed away, we just spoke for our 318th time.
Wow.
And that's like a year. So it's a mission, really. to share stories. So that's, I don't know if that, I know we're offline, but that's what we're doing with the foundation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and in
Great.
addition to what
Like that.
Jason
Yeah.
said, Kennedy would have wanted us to give back. Like,
Yeah.
I think if we were
Good question.
personally taking money from the production and the film and everything and like using it, it would have ruined it for us. And so our way to respect Kennedy and her sharing her life and journey is to give it back to the community,
No, I think
to
that's
do
great.
whatever we can to help others,
No.
because it just would have been ruined if we had done it as like a moneymaker for us personally.
But I think also people can donate to the Batten Disease Foundation,
BDSR.
BDSRA. That's a great foundation that can take in funds. And I think really just our hope would be is that people would help any foundation or cause, but go watch the movie. You know, I think Angel Studios is promoting so much light that the best way to do is watch the movie and support Angel and then share and share with all the other people. You can go watch this on Angel Studios and then they'll feel that they want to help. And I think that's probably the best thing you can do. We do have a website, you know, we do have a Facebook and Instagram page, but we're here today to let Angel promote Love Kennedy.
I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Also, just we've made it extremely easy here at Angel to share as well. We have the new Guild Share feature. So if you are a Guild member, right under Love Kennedy, the movie, you'll see a little share button, and you can share it with non-Guild members. So if you just feel led to be like, oh, I got to send this to my aunt, but she's not a Guild member, we've made it possible to just share the movie. So please take use of that share feature. It's really, really cool. We just want to amplify light, and Kennedy's story, boy, is a light-filled story. So we're so happy to have it here on our platform. But also, I just want to take a moment just to open the mic as we close for any final thoughts, any final words. But TC, do you mind if we start with you?
Kennedy Hansen died at a young age. But one thing I hope the viewers will see from watching the film is Kennedy's life was not a tragedy. Kennedy's life was a miracle.
No, I love that. Absolutely love that. Couldn't have said it better myself. That was beautiful.
Yeah, TC, that reminds me of a story
Good.
that I'd love to share is when Kennedy was younger, we had another daughter, Anna, that's the same age, and Anna got invited to a birthday party, and usually the girls would get invited to birthday parties together, but it was only for Anna this time, and I had called to find out if Kennedy was invited to, and she wasn't, which is okay. I understand that. And I remember talking to Kennedy about it, and she was sad that she didn't get invited, but shortly after that, she had a birthday party, and she made it a point to invite the other little girl to her birthday party. And I remember saying to Kennedy, are you sure you want to invite her? You know, the mother comes out sometimes, right? Are you sure you want to invite her? Because she didn't invite you. I don't know if she's your friend. And she just said, Mom, she's my friend and I love her. And even if she didn't invite me, it doesn't matter. I want to invite her and include her so nobody feels left out. And we had how many?
She invited.
I don't remember
Whole class.
if she came or not, but yeah, we had so
We
many
have
more
video
girls
footage.
there for the birthday party that we had ever planned on. But it's what Kennedy wanted. She never wanted anybody to feel left out. So
No, I love that. And I'm sure to TC's point, I'm sure that little girl identified Kennedy as a miracle after that moment.
oh yes,
To where it's like, okay,
yeah,
no, I need to reevaluate.
yeah,
So I just, man, I love her heart. That's such a powerful story. Thank you for sharing that.
sure.
Another story of Kennedy that I'm reminded of being here at TC and Heather and all of you is when I used to coach her in soccer. And I coached all my kids in sports. But Kennedy Kennedy was our only blood child, and our other two children are adopted. And so she got Heather's athletic ability, but she got my sometimes,
Yeah.
passion. Let's call it that.
There you go.
And she was playing in a soccer game, and there was a girl on the other team, and this girl, and the game was competitive, and we were a good team, and this girl was just a tyrant. She was pushing girls and pushing them over and She was grabbing girls' hair and doing all these terrible things. And I'm yelling at the ref. I'm like, ref, call a foul. And really getting upset. And I remember I knew Kennedy was strong. I mean, when she passed away, she was 5'9", 100 and I don't even know, 40 pounds. Just even feel her, she was just muscle. And towards the end, she lost some of that, but she was strong and she was always strong. And I remember just having her come over and say, Kennedy, you cannot let that girl do that to our team. You do not do that. You stand up to a bully. You stand up to a bully. Well, she looked at me with those big brown eyes. And her eyes are so big and brown. And she says, but Dad, why not just love her? And I was like, you are such an idiot, Jason.
Yeah, how do you argue with that?
And I just put my hands up like, she's right.
Yeah.
She's right. I'm wrong. And that was shown in the film. And if you watch it, you'll feel of that. That was Kennedy.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you all for taking the time to talk about Kennedy's story and about this film. And just to talk to the audience one more time, angel.com/Kennedy Live. You can sign up for the guild there if you are not a member. If you are a member, just download the Angel app wherever apps are found and type in the search bar, Love Kennedy. You'll find the movie there. Please take the time, watch it. It is heartfelt. It is just a roller coaster of emotions, and it's just so light-filled. Jason, a question for you. In the film, there was a line that was extremely intriguing, and I think you have a story about this line, but the line was, part of the plan, I want to see a copy of that plan. And I believe that was said by Kennedy in the movie.
Said by me.
By you in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Can you tell us a bit
Okay.
about that line?
I want to talk about that. That's what this whole entire movie and experience is about, is that all of us have a plan, and we're given a plan, and sometimes we listen and sometimes we don't. And that plan, TC put it in there. That part of the movie was so important to me as Kennedy's dad, because 4 years before she passed away, in the film it shows me, and we're spiritual people, and I'm praying to God, and I'm told 4 years before, I need her home. I need her home, my son. 3 times. 4 years before she passes away. I'm just some normal guy. How do I accept that? How do I tell my wife that? How do I tell people that? She was pretty much perfect at that point. She was starting to have some eyesight things, but she was running around boy crazy, cheerleading, dancing. And that plan, the copy of the plan, then I had to prepare myself and my family for 4 years, prepare to lose her. And I want to tell your audience that the films at Angel Studios that I've seen, there's so much light in those films, and there's a lot of things that involve someone telling us the plan for us in our life. And that was revealed to me, and I had to prepare for that. And because of that, we did lose Kennedy. It's documented. We documented that. I was told and told others, and she did pass away. But that plan, the whole thing that TC shares in the movie, was greater than all of us. And that plan is here. It's right here. It's in the film. And it shares now. And so I just want to tell your viewers that listen to your plan. We all have a story. We all have experiences. No matter what your belief is, if you believe in a higher power or not, listen and then follow the plan. And great things will come from it. And that's why I love that TC put that in there, because I was so mad. Like, this is the plan? My daughter's supposed to die? I want a copy of that plan. Well, I got it. And it's just been a remarkable journey. It's been hard losing her, but absolutely a blessing sharing her. I want to share that with you.
And if I can just add to that, do I wish Kennedy was here today? Yes. Would I go back and change anything about the way it all happened? No. Because too many lives have been benefited, impacted for the greater good because of sharing Kennedy's story and because of her life and what she did for others. I wouldn't want to go back and change anything because there's too many people that have been affected for the good. So for me, I focus on the greater plan for all of us rather than just a little piece of it.
Thank you for that. And I feel like a beautiful way to close is, if you don't mind, I think reading that introduction at the beginning of that book would be a lovely way to close this live stream. Do you mind doing that? Is that all right?
That's fine. Dad, I think you should write a book. You and Mom have some things to do, so continue to share my story with the world. I promise that you will not tire from it, and you will long to see me again every day for the rest of your life. We did it, Mom and Dad. We did it. Dedicate my story to my family, my best friends, my neighbors, my grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, and the cheerleaders. But most important, dedicate it to my Father in heaven, God, who will help my story be told. Dad, I chose this. Do not ever forget that. I have to go now. We'll be waiting with open arms for you and our family. Give a giant hug to the world, Dad. A Kennedy's hug. Love, Kennedy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
This was my daughter. My little angel. I wanted her to be the cheerleader she had always talked about. To go to school dances and to hang out with boys. I didn't think that dream would ever end.
What happened?
The images of Kennedy's eyes show trauma. Trauma like I haven't seen.
It's a disorder that keeps the cells from ridding themselves of waste. There is no cure.
Light it up, we can be a million stars. Look at us, don't you see we've come so far? Yeah, we've come so far. 'Cause this is our world, and this is our time, and these are our plans. We're gonna let them shine. This is our place in the human race, and we won't stop dreaming. No, we won't stop dreaming.
Now streaming on Angel.